I'm not really sure I like what's going on here with this, because every time I bring OBS back up, it defaults to a microphone I don't have, and I have to remember to reset the microphone to what I'm doing. I've been in here talking to you guys for a while now, and nobody's been hearing me. The first thing I did was say hello to Joe McBride, Eric Beyer, Farm Dog, Thomas, and our very own Jessica Johnson. Let you know that we've got a 1947 D roll here. And this one's from 2 weeks ago, actually. I'm going to go ahead and, or maybe it was from last week, I can't remember. But anyhow, I know it's due, overdue. So we're going to do that now. And then I've got other ones scheduled for over the weekend, as you may be able to see from your notifications if you're getting them from the channel. And if you're not, you can at least look on the channel and see the times scheduled for the remainder of the reveals for this week. I've got all 5 of them scheduled for this week, and in fact I have 4 new ones scheduled for next week already. I can do that, Dave, no problem. Gosh, these things are a pain. They're a real pain. Very, very difficult to stuff these things. They're going so very slowly because they don't want to do their job. It makes it really hard on me. I usually get these done within like a half a second a piece. It takes me like 1 full minute, maybe a minute and a half to do the entire roll. In here, it's taken me like 5 minutes to do this one. It's never good when you're running late to begin with. Well, hello everyone. Hello, Melanie Beyer. I'm assuming that you are related to our very own Eric. Or maybe you are Eric on your wife's account. Get all my names to stuff here now. Start working on doing that. Eric says she's his better half. Well, I appreciate you being here. Turn this into a family event. I like family events. Speaking of family, my wife is off right now, visiting family. I had expected maybe she would be here today, and that I would have something else I would need to take care of this evening, and I was trying to schedule around this evening, and then all of a sudden it opened up free this afternoon. So I decided it was about time for me to get back into doing reveals, because I've tried the past 3 days to get into doing reveals, and I just couldn't do it because I was not feeling well. But I'm back to snuff now. I'm back up there getting things done. Majestic, how long ago was it that you sent the email? Because I looked this morning and didn't have a new email from you. I'm definitely glad to be feeling better. Thanks, Joe. It's been kind of a rough week. Been dealing with a lot of neck pain. I'm not really sure why. Neck pain that was radiating into my head, and I had pretty nasty headaches, and it was kind of one of those, you need to stay laying down because you're going to feel much worse otherwise. So I listened to myself and stayed laying down. I didn't enjoy it because I kept thinking of all the time that I had to make up here in the office. I am getting caught up with things. I'm getting caught up with a number of the reveals. I've sent out everything up to number 183, I believe, and then 184 on up. I still have all of the coins for that, and we'll be getting those all together and sent out this weekend. They're all going to go out by Monday. Had a lot of help from the people around me to get things straightened up to the point where they are. Yeah, Majestic, if you sent the email a few days back, I evidently have not seen it. And if you could just send it to me again, I would appreciate it. I'll take a look and see what's there. If it's about missing reveal coins, I already know about them. Getting all that stuff together and getting it finished up so that I can get them sent out this weekend and be caught up completely. So that this particular run that I'm getting ready to go through will go much smoother, much faster, and be out within a week. That's always the plan, trying to be out within a week. Okay. There's my numbers. There's my numbers. Let me get my roll out real quick. I have a box up on my desk that I store all these rolls in. This is the 1947 D roll that we're talking about this time around. And let me go ahead and open it up here and get started. There we go. All the coins in the roll out for your viewing now. Let's get the first one under there and see what we've got. See if I can find my scope. Here we go. There it is. And it looks like first coin in the roll turns out to be just a 47D with a couple of little tiny spots on it. Couple of little tiny spots. Not much. Still a pretty coin all around. But it appears as though we're not going to end up with a double die or a repunch mint mark out of this. Now, the double dies are generally only known on the obverse side of the coin. The reverse side of the coin, haven't really seen much of anything produced in 1947D that shows any kind of an excitement on the reverse. However, there were a lot of really nice repunch mint marks on the obverse. Hello, Andrew. It is a very nice shiny coin. This one, oh, I'm sorry, this one goes to Brian Pruitt. Brian Pruitt for coin number 1. And there we go. That's coin number 1 for you. Now coin number 2. Coin number 2 will be Jim Fletcher. I put Jim Fletcher's under the scope. See what it looks like. I got to get myself some sort of a marker to let myself know where I need to set these coins to look at them. This one looks like it could, or is that just a die scratch? Looks like it's just a die scratch. Thinking maybe it could be a RPM to the south because I saw something underneath the D. But now I'm seeing something extend out to the west of the D that looks like a part of a die scratch. Let's get this. Yeah, that's all that is. Unfortunately, just a die scratch. Yeah, let's take a look at the rest of the roll here. Get the rest of this coin in. Oh, there's a little spot on the cheek on this one. Something I definitely don't like. And that's it for that side. Let's take a look at the other side, see if anything was produced on the other side of this coin. I think once I get used to actually using the microscope like this, I'm sitting about 3.5 feet full arm's length to the left of my microscope. And so using my microscope at this angle is a little bit difficult. This coin's got a couple of scratches on it. Those are scratches, scrape marks. But this up here, around the M of America, is actually die damage. It's going to be something that you'd be able to use as a marker to determine that another coin was struck with the same die pair as this coin. However, there's not really much here to warrant any attention, because I don't see anything doubled on this coin at all. That's coin number 2 for Jim Fletcher. Oops. Coin number 3 will go to Majestic Sounds of Coins. And here is coin number 3. Let's see, what do we have here? Not an RPM that I can see. No, appears to be nothing on the RPM line of things. A couple of little marks, little spots. Nothing out of the ordinary for a, near 75-year-old. So what is this? 47, that's 73 years old. 73-year-old roll of coins. There's a little bit of marking from being banged up against other coins over the years. James Eubanks is in the house. Hello, James. Okay, we've got nothing on this one. Going to go ahead and put this in the holder for Majestic and move to the next coin in the roll, which will be coin number 4, and this one will go to Sissy Atwell. Sissy Atwell, you're up. This here, let me change this a little bit. Oops. Definitely don't need phone calls right now. Most of them are political phone calls. People want me to vote for somebody or another. I've already got who I'm going to vote for, so I'm of no concern. There. Maybe that'll stop our flickering a little bit here. And let me get it focused in. There we go. And Paul Hampton here. Hello, Paul Hampton. I hope you're doing well today, sir. We are certainly feeling the bite of fall today, that's for sure. It's actually a good thing. Yesterday we had high temperatures up into the upper 70s. Last night it dropped down into the low 50s, and it hasn't gotten much warmer than that since. I bet it's still probably not even 65 degrees outside. Beautiful day. Love days like this. I don't like the heat. And yes, you can hear my dog snoring behind me. He loves to sleep. It's his favorite hobby. While I sit here with my microscope on looking at coins, my dog loves to sleep behind me. And because he's a bulldog, when he sleeps, he snores. And because he's a pig, he snores very loudly. Let me see what we have going on here. It looks like just a very late die state coin. Not much other than that going on. Check for hub doubling all around. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, that's John L. Next one, I'm going to Wanda. Wanda. Let's see what Wanda gets. Next coin at the end of the roll is this one right here. There it is. And it looks like, take a good close look at this one. No, still not seeing anything. The closer in I get, the harder it is to stay in frame. I don't see anything on this one either, unfortunately. All right. Back out on this so we can get a good, easy look at the entire coin as we go around and look for other signs of doubling. Not seeing anything else here right now. Steve and Farm Dog, how you guys doing? There we go. We got us a crowd now. Roll, it's almost 2 weeks old. I was telling the other people when we first started all this that I was not feeling very well the last few days, which is why I didn't get a chance to do this any earlier than I am. I do apologize for that, but my medication and my condition and my feeling well and not feeling well is really just kind of an enigmatic thing that we never know exactly what's going to happen with me. I feel good most of the time, but sometimes I get in these little spells where I'm just not doing well for a few days. Get really bad headaches, bad neck aches, neck pain, stuff like that. Marshall's going to go next. It's going to be coin number 7. See what we have for Marshall. It looks almost like, well, we got 7 coins in so far, so it's not really enough to draw any conclusions on the entire roll, but this roll does appear that it is possible. It's going to turn out just to be an uncirculated roll. Not much more than that, unfortunately. What am I doing? This is a 19... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't change my title. Is that what you're after? I just realized. My title wasn't changed. I'm doing number 197. And this is a 1947D. Original tube roll. That's what I'm doing. Are the names upside down or is it you? No, it's not you. The names are not upside down. Or they are upside down. So let's do it this way. There, how's that? That should be much better. Thanks for catching me, folks. I feel like I could fall straight back and somebody would catch me. I trust you guys. My phone's upside down. My phone? I'm not using a phone. I'm using a very odd contraption of cameras on my PC. My phone is sitting over here trying to look like a brick as much as it can right now, and I'm happy for that. All right, number 8, Sissy Atwell. Let's see what Sissy gets out of here. We got something stuffed into the D, but it's not raised metal. Oh, Joe's phone was upside down. Oh, okay, I get it. Oh man, I tell you what, I don't use a phone when I don't have to. I mean, I'll use a cell phone as a cell phone, but trying to use it to do anything computer related, it's just a pain in the butt. Gosh, this one's got some deep gashes in it. I apologize for that, Sissy. Just the way they come out of the roll sometimes. It's one of those can't win them all things. I don't like that, but that's unfortunately the way it goes sometimes. All right, that was Sissy Atwell. Was it? Yeah, Sissy Atwell. Now for Wanda. Wanda. A Wanda, who. That's Jessica, that's what my package said that left Carbondale, Illinois on the 21st of September and still has not reached me. It said, in transit, arriving late. It was marked that way on the 26th of September and was never changed. We're in the process of having them try to track it down now. I went to my post office and asked them if they could give me some idea of where it was. And they just went online and put the tracking number in. I'm like, well, I can do that. I want to know where it really is. I don't want to know what your tracking system is saying. Well, we don't know about that. And I said, well, I mean, could you research it? Well, no, not really. Okay, then tracking is basically a scam. Because if you put a tracking number on a package and they can't find it using the tracking number, then what good is a tracking number? Seriously. And you see that stuff going on the outside of the 7 right there? This is a really good example of what happens in a later dice date coin. The design starts to chip out toward the outside of the design. It's a very relevant thing for 1943 especially. But 1946, 1949, 1953, 1954, 1955. Now 1955 is the one everybody pays attention to because they were finding these coins like this in 1955 thinking that they were the big double die people were reporting in the news. Well, as it turned out, that's not actually what they were, so they started calling them the poor man's double die. Well, a lot of people assumed that only happened in 1955, Lincoln cents, but that actually happens in a number of different years. You can see how the outside of the 4 is also doubled somewhat. This is what we call a braided die doubling. The die is so impacted by its own weight and striking force on coins that eventually the steel molecules on the surface of the die begin to break away and they pancake outward. When they pancake outward, it's like droplets of water on a windshield going down a highway. You can see them spreading out in all different directions. Well, what happens when you start doing that with molecules of steel on the die surface right outside the outer edge of the outer lettering, like there on the 7 and there on the 4, it actually chips away faster from the step difference in relief, which is the cavity of the 7 on the die, the outer edge of that. It starts chipping that stuff away a little bit faster. And that little bit faster chipping away is actually what causes that ghost doubling. We'll take a look up here. You should be able to see it somewhat on trust if there was even die wear. There wasn't even die wear. So the 7 actually wore faster than the rest of the die. There it is, just a little bit on the N of in. This is actually a very common occurrence in wheat cents. And it's actually not too uncommon in some of the memorial cents. There's part of a die clash right there. That's part of the sea of cent. Little tiny bit of a die clash showing up in the throat. But there you go. There's a little education on that particular coin. I'm glad that showed up for us so that we would have an opportunity to give a little educational note about it. Now I have to find the reverse here to be able to show it to you. This one's a very late die state reverse. Now you can always tell how old the die is by the presence of all of these little lines. They're called flow lines, and you can see them. They're little caverns, or actually canyons, headed outward toward the outside edge of the design, and that happens when the little molecules of steel start breaking away from the surface of the die after many, many continuous strikes. You see them, they get stronger over here. This is a field of very heavy modeling created by that same force. And this exact pattern of modeling can be compared between two coins that were struck at a similar time in the die's life, and you can see the same little marks. Oh, Hawkeye. So this is coin number 10. It's going to go to Marshall. And let's get out coin number 11. See what's going to happen for John. And let me see what we got going on here. Okay. Looks like not an RPM again. We do have that same effect on the 7 again. So we have a later dice state example. So it's a conversation piece all into its own. Nothing on the eye that I can see there. Okay, nothing on the obverse. Oh, well, I'm so sorry for Donna Mac. Tell her we wish her well and hope that she gets to feeling better soon. I've had my own little set of problems over the last few days, which is why I'm a little bit late getting these reveals done, but at least I'm doing them, right? Okay, we got nothing on the reverse side of this particular coin. So you got here just in time, John. That one's for you. Moving on to coin number 12 now. Number 12 is going to go to Brian Pruitt. And Brian Pruitt starts off with, well, it's a later dice date coin. It doesn't have anything on the mint mark specifically. Here, let me do something here. My little piece of board is warped just a little bit, and it's enough to notice a difference in focus. I want it to be flat. There, now it's flat. So that when I put the coin down and then move this around, it doesn't take my coin out of focus. And get it focused. Now when I move it around, it should stay in focus. How about that? The little things that count the most. It's just the little things. No mistakes, all happy accidents. Was that a die crack? No, that wasn't a die crack. I thought it might have been a die crack there on the corner of the shoulder. Driving is much easier when you have a straight steering wheel, right? Now we're good to get moving. Okay, a very late die state reverse. You tell a very late die state when you really zoom in on it, and you can't really see much of an outer edge to the design because the outer edge is actually basically obliterated to the flow of metal on the surface of the die. That's what we have on that particular coin. So that's for Mr. Pruitt. That's coin number 12. Let's move on to coin number 13. Coin number 13 is going to Eric Beyer. Let's see what Eric gets. Oh, there's some chance we might have a minor RPM here. Looks like we could. Maybe. Move my light angle down lower so I can see when I turn this. There is a split in that mint mark right there on the lower serif. I'll have to take a look at it and see if it's already listed. If I can find markers that it's already listed, I will certainly make sure that this one gets in a new flip insert. But if it's not already listed, I'm kind of done listing the really minor ones. No, there we go. Okay. This one's a better one. This one's okay. So that's a nice repunch mint mark. So that's the first one in the roll. We're into 13 coins now. Our 13th coin is a nice repunch mint mark. Let me back off of this so we can take a better look at the rest of the coin. Get my lighting angle back up so it makes our shadows right. What you always want to do when you're looking under a microscope or when you're taking photos under a microscope is you want to get your coin situated so that there's shadow all the way around the letters. This is not good for photography because it lights one side of your devices, not both sides. And so that happens when you have a low angle of attack on your lighting, or you have more than one light source. More than one light source is going to look more like this. Where you got light coming from more than one direction. I've got light coming from the top and from the side here. So when you back your lighting off, you actually get shadow outlining your letters. You want that all the way around. There you go, just like that. Makes it so that you can see extra thickness on things. You can see little marks in the fields. I could see a small doubled eyelid if I focused my microscope. I could see pretty much anything with this particular kind of lighting. All right, so we do have a little repunch mint mark. Let's go ahead and see if we can find a marker. Well, we have a die dot below the 9 toward the D, and then we have a relatively strong little die scratch running from the 1 to the 9, from the bottom of the 1 to the bottom of the 9 there. You can see it's a horizontal die scratch. Rather small, but it's there. You definitely use that to identify this particular die again. The little light colored fleck there right next to the bottom of the 9, just to the right of the bottom of the 9, is going to be a die dot. And that's usable as a marker. If we look around, I'm looking for a crack above VDB because that's somewhat common. It does have one, but it's really, really minor. Very difficult to see. We have some die scratches running southwest from the back of the hair toward the TY of Liberty. We've got a heavy die dot between in and God. That's about it for obverse markers on this. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. See what we see on the reverse of this coin. It's probably going to be nothing more than we see on the reverse of most 1947Ds, which is pretty much nothing. But we'll look anyway. I'm looking for extra thickness in the outer devices. I'm looking for class 4 offset hub doubling in the center of the design, because it is somewhat known for this era of Lincolns, and I just think it's an understudied area. You'll see a little bit of doubling somewhere in this area of the design. There are a few known in 1942, 1943, 1944, but around that, there's not many known. There's one for 1934. Now coin number 14. So Eric Byers goes off to the side in a special place because that is a repunch mint mark. Now let's take a look at the next coin in the row. This one's going to be for Jim Fletcher. Good luck, Mr. Fletcher. Not seeing anything here. Nothing around the eye. It looks like I got a little bit zealous about my scheduling times for my reveals. I realize now that I've got a different kind of microscope now. It takes me just a little bit longer to get everything set up and get everything going, so I think I'm going to move my times from my other reveals. I had an hour and a half built into each reveal, and this one's going to take an hour and a half. Now I've got those funky flip inserts that I have to deal with, so I think I'm going to have to bounce it up to 2 hours. So I will probably be moving the time of the next reveal. Let's see who's next. Majestic. Majestic Sounds of Coins. Do we have an RPM for him as well? I do believe it is. Take a good close look. Take a good look. Flip this around so that I can see the bottom. Yep, that does have a nice split on it. That is a nice split. Let's see if it's the same die as the other. It is the same die as the other. We have the dot next to the 9. And we have the east and west die scratch between the bottom of the 1 and the lower part of the 9. So it's definitely the same die as Eric Byers that we ran by before. I'm going to back out a little bit so we can take a look at the condition of the rest of the coin. Nothing else there, but we do have that lower serif. You can always tell these, if you're not really looking very carefully or you don't see very much, you can always tell when you have that big, thick, weird, fat appearance to one corner of the mint mark. Yeah, pretty much got a decent idea you may have a repunch mint mark you need to look at. So that's what this one is. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick and see if we have any unique error things going on with this particular coin. And, well, there is a spot on the back. I don't see anything else here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the flip and stick coin number 15 here with coin number 13, which was Eric Byer, because these are the same die. And now number 16 goes to Donna Mac. Here you go, John. Show this one to Donna when she gets better. Another 1947D, of course. And this one is not a repunch mint mark. And as I work these reveals, I do a step called verification. The step called verification means that I go through every coin in the roll, and I do a research of every coin in the roll. And probably about 1/3 of the time, when I'm going back through a roll, I pick out something I missed in the initial search during the broadcast. Part of that's because during the broadcast, I'm trying to keep things flowing, keep things moving a little bit. And if I miss something minor, it's just because I didn't see it. And then other times it's because, well, I found a die, found a decent little RPM or a little double die or something like that, and then I keep looking through the rest of the coins just to get the broadcast finished. And then when I'm finished with the broadcast, I go back and say that that coin was found, oh, I don't know, number 13. The first 12 coins, there's some decent chance there might be one of them in there, and I just didn't notice it. So here's another one. I see this is a little bit strange that these are suddenly popping out one after the other. And we went 13 coins in the roll and didn't find a single one, or 12. So here we go. This is another one of them. This one's going to Jim Fletcher. Let's see if I didn't already have. With regard to the ones that were in backlog, the reveals that were in backlog that I was working on, I am up to a point now where I only have 2 reveals left to go through all of the coins, get them identified, photographed, whatnot. And then I'll be done with all the ones I was catching up on from July. All of the June reveals are out now. And so now we're up to working on the last part of the July reveals. I've got 2 of them left. And then I'll be working on these October reveals. I didn't really do much of any in September. I did a couple, I guess. Wild Bill gets the next coin in the roll. Coming up next, Wild Bill. And this one definitely does not have the RPM we've been looking at. Hello, Wade. Don't remember you being in this role, but you may learn something. You stick around anyway, right? I got nothing on this coin. We have identified one rather minor repunchment mark that we've been finding in different areas of the roll, but we have not found anything any more eye-opening than that. And there's the reverse of that one. All right. That's coin number 18. Yeah, I'm not going to go down. I got the mail lady knocking on the door, but I don't have any mail to go out right now. So I can't pull away from this just to do that. We had an issue a couple of different times when I scheduled for pickups and they did not come by and pick up. Now she's gotten into the habit of stopping every day. And I told her I only mail packages 2 or 3 times a week. It's definitely not an everyday thing. Where is the coin? Here it is. Yeah, that's what it was. It was a mail lady. I can hear her closing the back of the truck out in the driveway. Getting ready to pull off. Alright, so that one was for John. Let's take a look at coin number 20 now. Coin number 20 will go to Joe McBride. Looks like I got nothing going on the reverse, I mean the obverse right here. For Mr. Eubanks, I don't specifically do the spiked head die cracks. I don't. Generally, for me, I do die varieties, and die cracks are merely a marker for given die varieties. And so, if it happens to be a repunch mint mark, and there is a die crack that shows as one of the markers for that repunch mint mark, then yes, I collect the die cracks, but specifically because they happen to be on repunch mint marks. Oh, CVS. Hey, Shannon. There is a minor double die, a minor repunch mint mark that we are finding in this roll, but they're kind of scattered. And we haven't seen many of them. So this one's for Adam Chambers. But we haven't really been finding much of anything in this roll. Nothing huge, anyway. Hello, Shantanu Singh. Let's see. Not nowhere, no way, no how. Got nothing going on here. So we'll go ahead and pull this. Move on to the next coin for Wild Bill. Wild Bill gets the next one in the roll. I don't see anything on the mint mark there. Nothing on the eye. Okay, flip it over on the reverse side. Take a look at that. Kelly Ray. Yeah, Cuds would be really nice, except that very, very unlikely to find Cuds. Kelly Ray, I do believe someone bought you a gift coin in one of these rolls. I think it might have been this one. So I think you've got a coin coming up today anyway. Another one for Donna Mac here. Let's see what we've got from Miss Donna Mac. Looks like it might be. Could be. No, it's not. That was going to be one of our little repunch mint marks, but it isn't. Okay, let's see here. Oh, finish with the obverse. We'll take a look at the reverse now. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here we go. Okay. A little bit of a headache trying to drive this microscope this way. But the picture's a lot better than with the dyno, that's for sure. Okay, nothing there. So on to the next coin. Number 24. That's going to go to Jim Fletcher. Not one of our little repunch mint marks. So I'll keep moving around. Nothing there. Oops. And nothing on the reverse. We're almost officially halfway through the roll now. It's taken us an hour to get this far. That's not good. Adam Chambers. Not one of the little RPMs that we've been looking at. Do want to tell everyone that we do have a special auction coming up this next Tuesday, the 20th. It's going to be normal time. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to do an entire show of toners, calling it the Colors of Fall. It's got coins of every conceivable color. A lot of them are certified by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. And there's going to be a very wide assortment of every different color under the rainbow, along with a few of them are just outstanding coins. That's coming up Tuesday the 20th. Then the 27th, we're going to have an Oktoberfest. That's right, we're going to celebrate October and the outgoing of the harvest period by having a coins and cocktails evening where we are going to auction a bunch of more valuable Lincolns. This is going to be probably a good $10,000 to $15,000 in inventory up for bids that evening, including 2 Count them, 1, 2, 1909 S VDB Lincoln cents. You don't want to miss that. The time for the one on the 20th, it's going to be Colors of Fall. It's going to be a regular time for auction. It's going to be 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 20th. And then our other one will be 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 27th. So it's regular auction times. They're just special events, special auction events for those particular days. Hey, Spike Ted Die Crack. There's your guy right there, James Eubanks. His name even says it. You might want to ask him what's up. I'm not seeing anything on this one specifically. A lot of little chatter marks, which tells me these coins were in a bag for quite a while before they were wrapped. Then they were unwrapped to be put into a tube. It is an original roll. It's just not a great one. Which 1947D isn't always great. Sometimes you get a really good roll and, well, sometimes you don't. I guess it's pretty much like any other date. Oh, I'm sorry, that one was going to be going to Jim Fletcher. So that's the Jim Fletcher coin. Another one that turned out to be rather normal. And number 28 now. Number 28 will go to Sissy Atwell. And Sissy Atwell will get this coin. Oh, no. Didn't she already get one that was kind of messed up? And this one's got spots on the obverse. Sorry, Sissy. Oh, man, that's a nice big carbon spot. Ugly. Ugly. Hate it when this happens. We get failure coins inside of decent rolls. There's nothing there. Number 29, Wanda. See what Wanda ends up with. And it's an RPM. And this one appears, it could be a different die from the other ones that we've already seen, but you can see the split in the lower serif there. Pretty clear split in the lower serif. So this may be a different die. It may be the same die, just a little cleaner example on the coin. I'm not seeing any follow through on the markers that we picked out though. So this one does definitely appear. It may be a new die. Different one for this roll. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse of the coin real quick. It's an earlier die state than the other one. This one's a decent late mid die state. A nice die scratch there for you. It's a good marker. This is a different die for sure. Another die scratch for you coming off the bottom of the O, going just south of the left side of the N. That is also a marker. There's another die scratch inside the end of cent there. It's another good marker. Carbon versus grease spots. Carbon is going to be black, nasty, ugly, crusty. Might even have green stuff or white stuff toward the middle of it. It embeds itself into the surface of the coin and cannot come off. So once carbon is on a coin, it's pretty much a permanent deal. This is going to be from Marshall here. And then grease is something that just plugs up the die, the cavities of the die, and it gets kind of mashed around on the surface of the coin and keeps the coin metal from striking up completely and keeps the design from striking up completely, leaving flattened areas in the design. So it's really very different from carbon spots. Carbon spots are going to be black. That little thing right there next to the N, that's a carbon spot. It's a little tiny carbon spot, but that's black. It'll never come off the coin, no matter what you do. You see it right there just to the right of the N of 1. And this little area below the PL of pluribus and on the O of 1 is slight weakness in strike, but it looks something like a grease area. The surface changes just a little bit. There's modeling in there, and any of the design that was supposed to pop up in that area doesn't. Although that isn't a greaser, it looks kind of like one. Did you see a 4? A 4 what? I don't think you saw a 4. I don't know what you'd be looking for, but I don't think you saw a 4. All right, and this one goes to Marshall. No, those were scratches, Kelly Ray. Sirag. Sirag will get the next coin in the roll. And we have an RPM. This is one of our other RPMs. You can see the die scratch going between the 1 and the lower 9. It's a horizontal die scratch, and then you can see the dot, the light colored dot. If you draw a line straight to the left from the top of the D of the mint mark, you'll see it there between there and the tail of the 9. There's a white dot right there. I'll try to bring it in so you can see specifically that it is a dot on the coin, a raised dot on the coin caused by a small pit in the die. You can see it right there, right between the bottom of the tail of the 9 of the date and the top of the D mint mark, about halfway between the two. That's one of our markers that I'm using to identify this particular RPM, and the other marker that I'm using to identify this RPM is that very light die scratch running from the bottom of the 1 directly east to the 9 of the date. And you see it at the very bottom of the 1, it runs due west. It's level to the ground. And so that's what we've got for those. That is a nice little RPM that we are going to find a few of, I suspect, in this roll. We've already found a couple of them. This one's going to go to Sirag. That's it with that. Let's take a look at the reverse side and see if there's anything specific that we need to draw attention to. Not really much of anything there, but that is one of the RPMs. So it's going to go on the RPM stack with the other coins that went on the RPM stack. Now coin number 32. Coin number 32 goes to Timothy Morell. And let's see what we have here. I'm not seeing anything on this particular coin. That does have that braided die doubling showing on the outside edge of the 7. So this is a quote unquote poor man's double die, as they call them. But this one is a 1947D, not a 1955 plain. So you can see how common that effect is on coins. You should start looking at your BU coins with later die state examples coming through with this shadow doubling on the outside edge of the last digit of the date. It's actually kind of common. And here we go looking at the reverse. This is going to be part of a lamination peel right here. This is actually part of the strike of the coin. Let's see if it continues or how it continues. It doesn't really. So you've got it down here. Those stripes that you see on the coin through the NT and the AT, those are going to be little flecks of alloy mixture issue. And then that thing on top of the S and above the E, that's where it actually fell out of the coin. Came out during the strike process. Another little bit of it right there. Kelly Ray, I'm not sure what you're asking. You want me to look at a coin? My issue, I don't mean to be mean about this, but my issue is if I looked at every coin everybody wanted me to look at, I'd never get anything done. I got a lot of work to take care of here. I'm trying to list things. Why don't you describe to me what you see in an email? See if you can take any photos of it. And then I might be able to tell you what you probably have. I see pictures in the clouds a lot. I see rabbits, dinosaurs, dolphins, rats, whales. Same kind of effect. It's called pareidolia. Ah, okay. Understood. Thank you, Kelly Ray. Don't ever mean harm to anyone when I tell them I don't have time, but that's really kind of how my life goes. All right, this one's for Paul Hampton. Let's see what Mr. Hampton pulls out. He gets a RPM. I can already tell. I can't see the RPM, but I can see the die scratch between the 1 and the 9, and I can see the dot to the lower right of the 9. I know we're going to see split serifs right there. You can see them now. This is going to be one of our repunchment marks, even though it has carbon. Now this is carbon. It's black, stuck to the surface of the coin. It's black, and it's like almost like a cancer. This is what carbon looks like. You can see its little active spot right in the center, that kind of greenish light colored spot. That's whatever was sitting on the coin that caused the cancer to grow. And that cancer is carbon. A lot of times those are caused by fingerprints, so you'll see a number of them on the coin. Sometimes they're very small and they stay very small. Like most of these should probably stay very small. But this one's going to be an RPM nonetheless. Let's take a look at the reverse side to see what we come up with on the reverse side. Looks like we have pretty much a late die state coin. And that's about that. So this will be Paul Hampton here. Paul Hampton going on the stack of RPMs. And moving on to the next coin, number 35, Steve A. Let's see. I don't really see anything there. Let me see if I can find my zoom. Get zoomed in a little bit. No, nothing there. I thought for a moment that I'd seen an RPM. And I had not seen it, but I thought I had. Nothing on that side. Let's flip it over and take a look at the other side. kind of has a little bit of a drag as it's moving. Takes a little practice to look at this stuff and know exactly what you're looking for to understand that you do or don't have anything. A lot of it has to do with the thickness of the device as an area, thickness of letters or thickness of a corner that I can see because I've been doing this for a little while. Here's Farm Dog. And Farm Dog's coin is not one of our RPMs. This looks like 2 RPMs. We're 36 coins deep in a roll of 50. We're probably not going to run into any dies that we haven't seen already. I said probably. I didn't say we aren't. I said we're probably not going to. Still have to check every coin, folks. I've been through rolls where the very last coin in the roll was the only example of a really nice double die. So I don't not go through parts of rolls simply because I didn't find something in the rest of it. Bad habit to get yourself into. There's going to be a 1972 double die come up for sale pretty soon. I found in a roll. And that particular coin was the only one of those I found as I was going through that roll. So one coin out of a roll made a difference. Coin number 37 now, Sureg. And Sureg will get this. Is one of our RPMs. You can see the dot next to the 9. You can see the die scratch between the 1 and the 9. Not really between the two, it's actually connecting the two. That's the way I should say it, so you'll look at it connecting them. Die 2, Joe. Found a die 2 and I refound a tube of die 3s I had, so I'm going to have some of each of those up for sale. It's going to be 2 weeks from now, the 27th of October. Die 2, sir. Die 2. 1972 P 1DO002. And nothing here on Sureg's coin. It's number 37. We're going to move on to 38. Let's see what we have for coin number 38. I'm going to have to cancel one of tonight's reveals and do the other one later. I got 15 minutes left to my next reveal, so obviously I'm not going to make it, and I've got other things I have to take care of, like getting my dog outside for a walk. Can't be here all evening. Wife's not here. She can't take care of other things, so I have to do it. Is what it is, right? Okay, nothing on this one. Ah, you guys have number 3? Yeah, I have a tube with about 10 of them. When it rains, it pours. Yeah, sometimes you find a lot of something that's kind of cool. But that die number 2 popped out of that roll, and that was definitely the only one in the roll. I also found a die number 9 that was the only one in a roll. This is for Joe McBride here. Let's see if Joe gets one of our RPMs. No, sir. Not an RPM. We keep digging. Nothing on that one either. Hello, Kenny Cross. Grabbing the popcorn and the earbuds. We only got about 10, 15 minutes left. And I got to move on. And here's coin number 40. Coin number 40 is going to go to Eric Beyer. And Eric, it appears that you're going to get, yep, looks like one of our RPMs. Maybe not. This may be a different one. This is a different one. This has a split on the upper serif. Yeah, it's got a decent little split on the upper serif. I don't know. I'll keep it out just in case. Looks like it could be an RPM. I think it is. Little thing, something like that. See nothing on this rather chewed up reverse. Has a few little hits and marks and things on it. Take it off to the side, put it in a holder, and take a better look at it later for Eric. Coin number 41 goes to Adam Chambers. Hello, Kelly. Nope, nothing on the obverse of this rather spotted coin. And take a look at the reverse real quick and see what's on the reverse. See if there's anything there to talk about. Yeah, Kelly, it's turning out to be, I'm going to say a decent roll, but not better than average, for sure. One or two different minor repunchment marks. We're finding a lot of coins that have a little bit of carbon or a little bit of a scratch here and there. Not the best quality roll. It's okay, though. I mean, it's not bad. Here's Doug Reese. Doug Reese is going to get, it does not appear to be an RPM. And don't think that's a double eyelid either. I'll take a better look at it under the scope with two eyeballs. I'll be able to tell for sure. It's a decent looking coin. Don't mind the condition of this one at all. Let's see. People ask me sometimes, why do I look at coins sideways, upside down, and all oddball different ways? And my reason for this is because it's all doubling. It doesn't matter what direction you have the letters, and you're not trying to read the coin, you're trying to look for doubling. Given that all I'm trying to do is look for doubling, I don't care if I can read the coin. I'd rather see the doubling. The next one here goes to Paul Hampton. It's coin number 43. 43 for Paul Hampton. I've got no RPM. I've got no doubled eye. Ooh, I just got a breeze in from outside. I got my window open, and it is chilly out there. I'm going to take a look at the reverse here. nothing there. Coin number 44 goes to Mike Birchman. Let's see what Mr. Mike gets. Looks like we are not an RPM. A little bit of a woody effect on this coin. Definitely got striping up and down in the planchet. 94 degrees, geez. Yeah, that is hot. I think the highest temperature we hit today might have been, I don't know, 62, 63. I like it like this, though. I'm very happy with it. I ended up out on my mower yesterday, mowing the yard. Then I ended up under the mower, fixing the steering linkage, because my steering went out. Well, that was no fun. Sireg. Sireg comes next. So the last, I don't know, last quarter of an acre, I was mowing in the dark, or near dark. It was after sunset. Kind of like right about this time right here. Somewhere between 6 and 6:30. It's just starting to get dark outside. Where am I? Here we go. Trying to find my coin. All right. And what I see is much like a lot of the other coins in this roll. Decent wheat penny, and that's about it. Now on to coin number 46. Coin number 46 goes to Steve A. And Steve A., for his love of the hobby and effort in this roll, will get, well, it looks like just a 1947 D Lincoln cent. And a rather choicey, select to choicey B looking coin. It's a nice red coin, but it does have a number of carbon spots, little ones on it. Little flecks, fly specks. And nothing there. I used to live in Florida. I don't miss it. I miss some of the people there. Hello, Kelly Ray. There we go. There's yours. Let's see what you get. Miss Kelly Ray. And no RPM do I see on that coin. Not a doubled eyelid either. Let's take a good look at the reverse on this coin. See if it happens to be anything that we need to talk about. And so far I don't see anything. Oh, well, Kelly Ray got herself a nice 1947 D Lincoln cent, but not much more than that. And here's number 48, going to Eric Beyer. And got a normal 47D there. I was talking a little bit earlier to the people who were here at the time, and I don't know if new people have come in, so I'll mention it again. Next week is going to be a special auction event on the 20th of October, or Tuesday. It's going to be the Colors of Fall, a little special event that I'm putting together of toned coins. Some of them not certified, some of them certified by NGC, some of them up to a 66 in grade. Some very nice looking coins, or some that are extreme. Beautiful coins. The next reveal that we're going to have is going to be a little bit later this evening, probably around 8 o'clock, and then I'll have to shove everything else forward. I think I have 3 of them scheduled for today, and I won't be able to get 3 of them done, but the next one I'm going to do is going to be 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Here's coin number 49 for Mike Birchman. And let's see what we have. It's a later dice date coin. You can see that ghost doubling on the 7. Seems to be a rather prevalent feature in this roll. Which probably means we've got a couple of worn out dies that we're continuing to receive coins from that probably didn't last a whole long time after this roll was done. Nothing there. Nothing there. And let's move on to coin number 50. It's going to go to Donna Mac. So, John, you got to show her all the way up to the very end of the show. And what do we have here? Come on, act right. There we go. Got my microscope to behave. I don't see anything going on this coin on the obverse. And flip it over to the reverse side. See what we can see. Got a few spots and no doubling. That's about it. Well, that's going to do it for this roll. That's pretty much what we have. I'll go back through and we'll take a look at the numbers and then the names on the coins that I did find something on. I think there are 3 different dies represented here. There we go. It's number 40, number 34, number 31, number 29, number 17, number 15, number 13. On the other side, they're going to go to Eric Beyer, Majestic, Jim Fletcher, Wanda, Sureg, Paul Hampton, and Eric. So that's what we've got for this roll. I appreciate you guys dropping by. We do have another roll coming up. Let me take a look at my schedule here and see what I've got so we can get an idea of what's going on. Because I kind of messed up a little bit and put myself in a place where I got more reveals than I got time to do. So let's figure this out together. Let's walk off into the sunset together. That's enough. All right. Let's see. YouTube Studio. Let's see what I've got going on. Finally getting done with number 197. Getting ready to move on to 198. Let's see what we have scheduled. Why can't I see what I normally see? They've changed my screen. Oh, no, they didn't. I was just looking at a compacted view. Okay, so here we go. This is what we have. I have 2 more scheduled for today. One of them was scheduled for 6:30, which is right now. And then I had another one scheduled for gosh, it takes these so long to open. 8:30. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move the 6:30 to 8 o'clock and brush the 8:30 for today and move it to tomorrow and then move one of tomorrow's to the next day. Not too bad. It'll be okay. But as soon as I get finished with this broadcast and shut down here, I'm going to move a few of them. Yeah, it does say 7:30 if you're in the Central Time Zone. So what we're... Or does it say 7:30 Eastern? Wait a minute. It's really difficult for me to get into my planner. when I'm already doing a broadcast. Let me check that again. This is not easy for me to even see this stuff. Let me see. My channel. Come on. My channel. There we go. 198. Scheduled for 6:30 p.m. I've got it scheduled for 6:30. There's an 8:30 tonight. And then tomorrow there is a 4 o'clock and a 6 o'clock p.m. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move one of them to tomorrow. I move the other one to 8:30 this evening. I need a couple of hours. So, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll move number 199. I'll move it to 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock tomorrow. Actually, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. I'll do 199. That's on Saturday. 1 o'clock tomorrow, and then 4 o'clock tomorrow for number 200, and 6 o'clock for number 201. Number 198 will be tonight, but it will be at 8:30, not 6:30. So it will be at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific. I sound like one of those TV announcer guys. So it's going to be 8:30. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to drop off here and go take care of my puppy dog. And I will see you guys on the other side when I come back in. There's a little preview for you. This is one of the coins that we're going to be running at auction. I know the title's wrong, but I'm working on it. All right, folks, much appreciated. I appreciate it. You guys come back at 8:30 tonight, 8:30 Eastern, and we'll have that other, that's a 1955D reveal. All right, talk to you later, folks.